Good day, everybody. My name is Mr. Okoko Isaac, and I'll be taking us in English grammar today. Today, we'll be looking at adverbs. As we all know, an adverb is a part of a speech, and we have about 8 different parts of speech which makes a sentence or make up the English sentence, depending on the sentence that is being given. Straight away, let's look at the definition of an adverb. Adverb. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb or an adjective in a sentence. When we say modifies here, modifies simply means it tells us more about a verb or an adjective in a sentence. Take for example, if I should say, my mother is beautiful. Now, looking at this sentence, there is no adverb here. What you have here is what? An adjective, which is describing your mother. But if I should say, my mother is very beautiful. There is an adverb here, which is what? Your very. Your very is modifying the adjective here, which is what? Beautiful. So when you come across this, you know that okay, this sentence has an adverb, and the adverb here is very, which is telling us more about what? Beautiful. How beautiful is your mother? She is very beautiful. Most adverbs ends with ly. Take for example, slowly, loudly, quickly, and so on and so forth. This is an example. These are examples of what? Of an adverb. So when you come across words that end with ly in this format, they are what? Examples of adverb. Okay, quickly we'll be looking at the different types of adverbs that we have. The first type of adverb we're looking at today is adverb of manner. Adverb of manner tells us how an action took place. How an action took place. Example, she sang sweetly. The second type of adverb that we'll be looking at is the adverb of time. Adverb of time. And what is the adverb of time? The adverb of time is a type of adverb that tells us when an action took place. It tells us when an action took place. Take for example, let's see an example in a sentence. We can say, my father traveled to London yesterday. The third type of, that takes us to the third type of adverb, which is what? The adverb of place. The adverb of place tells us where an action took place. Take note of the word where. where an action took place. And an example to indicate or to show us an adverb of place in a sentence is this. The old man lives here. This is your adverb there. Yesterday talk about time. The fourth type of adverb is the adverb of degree, and this tells us to what extent or limit an action took place. Example, the weather was quite cold. This here is your what? Is your adverb. Okay, the weather was quite cold. It tells us to what extent the weather was cold. Then we move on to the fifth type of adverb, which is what? The adverb of frequency. The adverb of frequency tells us how many times an action took place. It tells us how many times an action took place. Now let's look at an example of an adverb of frequency. An example here will be we eat rice every day, or we always eat rice. Let me put that way. We always eat rice on Sundays. Now, always in this sentence tells us the frequency. How often do we eat rice? We always eat rice on Sundays. Then we look at the next one, the adverb of reason. So let me bring it down. Adverb of reason. When you hear the word reason, the first thing that should come to your mind is what? Why? Why a particular thing happened. So with that, adverb of reason. This tells us why an action took place. Adverb of reason. This tells us why an action took place. And a very good example of an adverb of reason is, okay, can somebody give us an example? I couldn't do my work because I was tired. And with this, we move to the last type of adverb, which is what? The interrogative adverb. The interrogative adverb. When you hear interrogative have to do with what? Asking of questions. And the interrogative adverb is a type of adverb that asks questions. Is a word? Is a type of adverb that asks questions. So we can say this is used when asking questions. Example. How old are you? Yes, any other question? What are you doing? Where do you live? All those are keywords that you use when you're there are keywords that you have to identify when you're asked to pick out an interrogative adverb, because they are being used or used when asking questions to get information. So with this, we've come to the end of the class today. Like we've been taught from the beginning, we said an adverb is a word that modifies a verb or an adjective in a sentence. And we look at some examples of, adverb. Thereafter, we also look at the types of adverbs with examples of such adverbs in a sentence. Okay, with this, I expect you to answer the questions that are being given, right after this class. Do it neatly and in a well presentable manner. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.